Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to have a look at the spaghetti trader again, exactly what has happened in the last month. We have left it pretty much to its own accord. And if you're not exactly sure what the spaghetti trader is all about, it is an EA. It was actually developed, and we helped beta test this one also from Expert4x. And at that particular time, we made a couple of videos exactly on how it operates, some of the results that we actually got out of it, which was some very good results on the beta testing itself. And obviously, those are the things that we're going to go through here today to figure out how has it been doing. We have made a range of changes here also to it. So from the beginning, and it looks like now that things are starting to look in the right direction. But also we need to figure out, can we actually do more about it? And what exactly does the last month's results show? So which ones can we basically take some positive notes of and figure out exactly how this has to be traded. But before here, we have made a couple of videos in the past, and this particular video here has shown us the first live trading that we did. So this was basically with the settings for the beta testing that we had that back then. And we set it up in such a way that we thought that this was the best way forward. We quickly figured out that that is not the way. We made some changes and adjustments to it, and that is basically what we're going to go over here today and basically have a closer look at to see what we can actually learn from these particular parts. Now, all the technical details, the setups, what you can change and adjust is also part of this particular video in here. So we're not going to go into details on that particular video. We're only going to touch on a few things here in order to make sure that you have full clarity over what we're actually looking at here today. The first part is the 28 currency pairs that this EA is trading. And you can see the red line up here. It's all the US dollar pairs, and then you have all the green, which is the crosses below. So it actually trades up to 28 currency pairs in here. But the easy part or the simpler part here is actually you're using Euro USD to come up with settings, basically for your back testing in here. When you have those, it will basically transpose to all the other currency pairs, and there's a couple of settings that you can change and adjust it any way you like. So we're going to have a look at exactly what currency pairs in here are the strong ones, which ones are actually working, which ones are not. So, and that we're also going to use our FXBlue account to figure out exactly how well have they done. Now, this is a beautiful mess in here, and it definitely looks like spaghetti. Basically, the indications in here is we are trading strong currencies against the weak currencies. The strong currencies basically being in top of the picture here, and the weak currencies are the ones at the bottom. And we know for time and experience here that the weak currencies will be stronger, the stronger ones will go weaker, and that is basically it. You are trading the strong against the weak, and as they come and go, you will have individual trades here. So we're on the same chart. I simply just put a couple of black lines across here, and this is basically the trigger levels that we're going to use in order to show you exactly how this operates. And basically anything between the center line here and up to the black line here, no trades will actually happen on the individual currency pairs. So the individual currency pairs is also the different colors indicated by the different colors here. And the first one you can see is the dark purple one that comes just across from the black line, and it starts basically looking at a weaker currency to trade against. And the first one that comes in here is the green. So basically it will start off a trade against that particular currency here. And as the red one also shortly after punches through the same line, it will also open a trade here. So one currency as the strong one will now trade two different currency pairs down here. And then as the blue one points through also that particular area here, it will also go in. And if you draw a direct line here, you will see that both the green and the red one here are also outside of that band, similar as the blue one will be. So that also means that the blue will trade against the green and the red. So obviously all of a sudden you have quite a few trades happening. If we have a look at the purple one, you can see the purple one is very strong, and then it comes back into the middle. And the red one here, you can see that one is getting extremely weak, and then it comes back into the middle, and they actually meet. It doesn't necessarily always need to happen, but that is basically the movement in between the two currencies that we are looking at. You can see the same thing with the blue. Also here, it comes back from being very strong and then weak, and basically also meets up here with the red and does a bit of a crisscross. And you can see the purple one from being weak actually comes into the strong part. It opens up again. And that also means that new trades will take place. Again, it has already set one with the green one, which is basically bobbing around. So most probably that wouldn't happen. But the red one would start off trading again, and then once again the weak and the strong one, they meet somewhere in the middle, or at least close enough, and that's where you're taking your profit every single time. So that is the basic setup of this particular EA, and let's go and have a look and see exactly what the results look like over the past many weeks. Now, we always want to refer back to our website, because this is basically where we are adding all the details and information. And the first part you go to is our portfolio setup, where you see all our individual projects you can follow whenever you need and want to. And in here you have the Spaghetti Trader. And the first things that you will see is you will actually see the last 4 weeks of results on the 15 minutes, the 1 hour and the 4 hour time charts in here. So we are basically publishing them every single week in order for you to follow the trades. We also have the videos from our YouTube channel on our particular website here, with some extra additional details in, so that you can follow it all the way through. And at the bottom here, we also have the results for the month of May, and then obviously for the following months, the more details and information we have. It is clear here also that the Spaghetti Trader didn't do too well in May, but as we mentioned, we have made some changes since then. And down here you will find our FXBlue links. You can even find some information also from Alex and Expert4x on the Spaghetti Trader and how you can download it. And as always, we have also links to the Expert4x homepage where you can find it. And if you need to trade it on a VPS, we also have links in there to help you out with all those details. So the first part we're going to do is basically go and have a look at the FXBlue sites we have in here. And when you click those, you go exactly to the trading that we have. So the first one we're going to have a look at here is the 15-minute chart. And as you can see, it's in the red, it's actually in minus. And obviously that is not a very good thing. We started off with a balance of 10,000 and it's now at 9.2. And in the beginning, we had a couple of good results. And from there on, it basically went downhill. And then we made some changes and adjustments to the EA itself. And obviously it takes a bit of time before they come into play. But it looks like it has been moving in the right direction here lately. Obviously, there's always something to do here with the trending markets that we have seen quite a bit of in the last month from various currencies. And when they are trending, it obviously basically screws up the math. So for the indicator itself, and when things are continues to trend instead of basically fluctuating back and forth between the currencies, that's where you will lose out on this particular EA. So the returns is obviously down. We can see how many number of trades has been taken here. We have 3 pages basically of currency pairs being traded. So it has been quite active. Again, this is also the 15-minute chart. The trade wins, as you can see, it's only 51%, so very, very low. Definitely, we need to get that one up. The history is 42 days old. And then you have a lot more information in here. Some of the things that you have a look at is the average win is $42, and this particular average loss is 54. So definitely not going in the right direction when you look at the numbers themselves. On the graph, it looks a lot better. You can see it was down to 8,395 and currently up by 1,000. So it looks like we have figured something out, and the market is also maybe straightening itself out slightly. Quick look at the orders. We can see there's quite a few orders open here. So these are the simples. And you will see that some are obviously in minus, some are in plus. And overall, it is in a bit of a minus at the moment here, but let's not dwell with that too much. If we go to the stats themselves, again, we have the weekly returns, which is at the moment in minus. So is the monthly returns, 42 days. Floating profit, as we said, is down slightly here, 124. But the indicating part here is again our weekly. So we have a look at that. And we can see in the beginning we had a net profit of 41. Then we're losing 106. We had a big time loss here also of 700. Again, a couple of hundreds on the week. And now it looks like in the last couple of weeks here, we can see some progress at least made. So with the spaghetti trader itself, it is now up to 75. And this particular week here is 187. Let's have a look at the month itself. And we can see last month was obviously not a good one. Big minus here, and then 210 for that particular month here shows that something is going in the right direction. Quick look at the symbols, and if we have a look at the winners, those are always the interesting ones. The first one here is actually Euro, Great British Pounds, actually 100%. Again, we only have a couple of trades. Over here we have all the individual trades. We can see that one of the New Zealand USD has actually 13 and it has 9 winners. And again, the percentage is a lot higher than the 50% that we had in here before. Only one is actually 100. And then we can see Aussie is here, 75%. So a couple of good winners overall. And then we have some really poor ones. We have 8 trades here and only one was won. And that definitely indicates that it doesn't work for every single currency pair in here. If we have a look at the net profits, also we can see the Great British Pounds USD is actually the one that made the best, 352. And the winning percentage here was only 64%. So overall, even though the percentage is lower, it has made the best amount of money. We can see the second part here is British pounds, Swiss francs. Also that one has cashed in on the net profit quite well. And the winning percentage is actually quite high, 75%, which we are quite happy with. You can see the 100% comes all the way down here for the Euro British pounds. So with the 63, so even though 100% doesn't always necessarily mean that that is the one that actually producing the highest numbers. So let's go and have a look at the 1 hour chart to see what we can read out of that one. So the 1 hour chart looks like this. Also this one here is in red. We are down from the 10,000 our balance started off with at 9,130. We do have a positive floating profit at the moment of 173. And at the end of the day here, we can see the free margin in use. Total return is currently minus 7%, monthly returns minus 6.8, and weekly returns minus 1.7. You can see all the currencies also traded on that particular EA here. And trades per day, 2.4, history 38 days. Risk reward trade length, you can see here 5 days, so quite a long time in between the closures themselves. And again, average win $89 and average loss is 91. So obviously here again there's a on balance, not as much as there was on the other one. It looks to be slightly better. If we have a look and see how the graph has gone, this here is from early June. And it went all the way down here, and we seem to have recovered a bit of it, but not all of it. And hopefully we can do that with the positive floating profits. Having a look at the orders in here, we have 16 orders again for that particular one. And as we mentioned, at the moment we are in slightly profitable territory here. So hopefully that will also continue. Going on to the stats side of things, these are the same details that we had here before, 38 days, and obviously things are moving in the wrong direction. On the weekly perspective here, we can see the net profit when we started back in May. We have a lot of minuses in here. We get a nice positive results. So at the end of May, 330, and then we had a bad week here of 1100. Again, this has something to do with the trending currencies that definitely this EA still doesn't really like. And we can see the net profit for this particular week is actually up by $318. Looking at it on a monthly basis, it's not so good. We are still down overall for the 2 months. But let's go and have a look at the symbols we have in here. If we have a look at the percentage, there's now 4 that has 100%. Unfortunately, these are just winners only one time on the currency, Euro, Swiss francs. We have the Euro Japanese in here also. Then we have 2 Great British Pound CAD and New Zealand CAD that has traded twice and has won both. So that is great news. And all of a sudden we see a huge dip in here where we are down to only 50% winners. And it goes all the way down to 0 basically. So obviously not the best statistics at the moment. Let's have a look at the results for the profits. And we can see here the British Pound CAD 224. So that is definitely some of the ones that you want to trade. We can see one that has traded quite a few times, British Pounds New Zealand. New Zealand is being quite active here lately, so and has been trending also. So interesting to see. You can see the winning percentage is actually 60. So not too bad, but overall we still have slight profit of $52 at the end of the day here, so not what we want, but we can see a slight profit going all the way down to basically CAD Swiss francs, and then the rest here is going to be in minus. And those are some of the things that you have to consider when you're going to trade that one in the future. So let's jump over and look at the 4-hour chart to see if that one looks any different. Now, the first thing we notice when we look at the 4-hour chart here is also, again, yes, it is in minus. All of them seem to have started off fairly well and then been dropping down. But the good part, as we see here, is we have basically stopped the constant drop. We did have a little loss here. And after that, things has been looking slightly better. But obviously, this is a 4-hour chart, so it takes time to turn it around when you put new settings in. Floating profit is only $6 in plus at the moment, balance 9,351. So it has recovered a bit. Obviously, we want it past the red line and then some. Also here, total returns minus 6.4. Monthly returns minus 4.9. Weekly returns minus 1.2. Again, a lot of currency pairs in play on all sides. History in here is 42 days, so quite a lot of history, and trades per day. 1.2, so not as many as you saw on the other ones here, but this is also bigger time frame. Again, we have a look at the average win in here, 88.95, and then average loss 89.91. So again, imbalance. Obviously, we want it to at least be about 30 or 40% higher on the average win that we want on the average loss. So there's definitely some room for improvement moving forward. Let's have a look at the orders. So we don't have so many orders on these particular ones. Again, bigger time frames, less trades, hopefully more stable trades. But as it looks right now, pretty mixed results overall. As we said, it is still 5 orders and $6 in here. We have a couple of ones in positive. We have one pretty much in equal, and then a few that are going the wrong direction at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how they are gonna go on in the later part of the week. Let's have a look at the stats again here. So let's have a look at the floating profits. Yeah, it's down to 5% here now, or $5. Let's have a look at the weekly one. So the first part again here is the net results. As we see, there's not the big swings of plus and minuses here compared to what we had before. So we had one month here that is 1 week that is positive here. Then we had a bad week again, and then we had another one in the positive. So it looks like at least this week is definitely going in the right direction. And you can also see the amounts of trades that is happening from the individual weeks. So the first week, quite a few with 15, and then it dropped down, and then last week again, because of some of the volatility of the currencies. And that certainly didn't look like it like that at all here. Let's have a look at the monthly basis. And again here, looks like at least we have stopped the big minus from coming in. Now, obviously, we need to make sure that things are going in the right direction. let's have a look at the symbols and the winning percentage. And wow, we have a lot more 100% in here. Again, we don't have too many trades. There's only, one. We have 3 here. We have 3 here. So that is obviously good. But then again, it drops very quickly because there's not too many trades, down to the 50% mark. Quite a few. And looks like pretty much, there's a lot of currency pairs in here. Let's have a look at the net profits. Again, also here we have CAD Swiss francs, 3 wins, 100%. So definitely something you want to trade then if that follows the trend. New Zealand USD, also good. British pounds AUD. And we go all the way down to, well, pretty much New Zealand Swiss francs is the last one we have, which is in plus, and then it starts off with a range of minuses. And unfortunately, it looks like there is more minuses than there is pluses at the moment. So despite the results are not looking too good at the moment here, as you saw on the graph itself, we do seem to pick up a positive vibe from this particular EA. We hope that the market is going to calm down a bit and some of the currencies can stop trending, because definitely this EA doesn't really like the trending market too much. It actually wants it volatile. That is quite fine. But if it's trending, it will basically go out and lose individual trades, as the strong currency simply will continue to get stronger overall and basically hit the stop loss at the end of the day. Now, obviously, we're going to put a lot more details and efforts into this in the future. So we just wanted to give you a bit of a fair update on what is actually happening, how you can review these, because we believe that a lot of people are viewing this and then they're saying, well, the EA is not really working. But don't forget that we have 28 currency pairs that we are working on. And one of the things that we actually got included in the beta testing back then here with Alex is that you can actually exclude certain currency pairs. Now, at first, of course, this is because not every broker has all 28 currency pairs. So in order to get it to work, you need to exclude them. But there's nothing wrong with going back in here again and excluding some of the ones that are simply not working. So the first part with any EA is always to have a base. And that is basically what we are establishing right now. We're establishing a base where we are trading every single currency pair that the developer and Expert4x here has told us this is the ones that you should trade. But it doesn't mean that you have to follow their guidelines or directions at all, because as you can see, there's quite a few currency pairs that are not doing so well. If you try to weed those out in the early days here, when you have more details and information on how this is working, it could be that you have to change your settings, of course. It could be that you simply just exclude some of these pairs themselves. But at the end of the day, you need to have that base to figure out how they operate, if they are coming good at one point or not. It is very difficult to come up with a strategy when you only have 1, 2, or 3 trades in the past month on that particular currency pair. You need a lot more details. You need a lot more information in order to make that decision at the end of the day. So the good part here is we're going to continue to trade for you on the 15-minute chart, the 1 hour and the 4 hour one. At any given time, you can jump on our website here, go in and click the FXBlue links. Follow everything there. You can even extract whatever details we have on the FXBlue and use on your own trading. Now, I also know there's a couple of traders that are doing the same thing as we are. They are trying to do this. They contacted us and says, oh, sounds great, Bo. We are also trading this one currently. It could be very interesting to hear from you traders out there how your experience is. What have you tried? What have you changed so far? And what is your strategy going forward? So please leave us a comment, and of course also a thumbs up, a like here. So if you enjoyed the video content and if you got anything out of these particular strategies that we are talking about, we're going to apply to the Spaghetti Trader later on. So I hope to see you on one of my next videos. Bye-bye.